Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're gonna do something with the Evo. It's the weekend, it's Friday night. Actually just got done with the fun fact video, so now I'm gonna do something that I actually find fun and relaxing, and that is washing my car. I know to a lot of people that's probably like crazy thought, but for me it's, you know, my neighbor asked me one time, and the best answer I could come up with is it's just kind of like therapeutic. You know, I'm just kind of alone with my thoughts. I think that's kind of why I haven't done a video like this, really, is because it's kind of like my alone time, and to stop and talk to you guys kind of takes away from that. So, but I've been wanting to do this to kind of show you guys. I know you guys have seen like some time lapses and different things, and sometimes you see like the cart and all that stuff. Wanted to kind of go through some of it real quick, just the bare basics. If you are, let's say you just bought your first Evo or whatever, your first car that you actually care enough to take the time to learn how to wash it properly, this is going to be that video. Now there are some people out there, some awesome people that do some car detailing video, but it's up there. This is really just meant to be like the everyday person who wants to not mess up their car but doesn't want to spend $1,000 in car cleaning products either. So we're gonna go over some of my stuff real quick. I know it looks like a lot. Most of it is multiples of things and different things. You really only need a few basic things. You need a good soap, you need some towels, a couple buckets, and maybe a couple accessories, and really you can kind of make do with that. And we'll kind of go through that as we go. All right, so I like to use 3 buckets. You typically hear the 2-bucket method. What they mean is 1 bucket with clean water, 1 bucket with dirty water, whichever. That way when you're washing the car, you take your wash mitt, you put it in 1 bucket, you dry it, you go into the next. That way you're less chance of recontaminating the car. The 3rd bucket I use just for wheels. You'll notice that I've got a lot of things on here, but honestly there's really not that much. A lot of these are like duplicates. These are the exact same. These are just air freshener. That's carpet cleaner. These are the exact same thing. These 2 here are the exact same thing. This is water. This isn't the same as these 2, but it's basically the same. It's just another trim thing. So there's really not as much there, and those are all just soaps. There's really not as much as it seems. I do also have kind of like my extra stuff and my overflow. A lot of this is stuff that just doesn't get used on a regular basis, like, you know, like sealants and rubbing compounds, and then like my refills of like various soaps and such. And as far as towels go, I have kind of like my B towels. Mostly I keep like my wash mitts and just like some towels I use for like the interior and stuff. These are like a lot of Amazon Basics, just cheap microfibers that are good for just that stuff. I have a bunch of them. In this tub, I have most of my like A towels. So these are all my exterior towels. These are my wheel and engine towels. These are gonna be like, these thicker ones here are gonna be like sealant, wax towels. This white towel is really just kind of nothing. I don't even know why it's there. And then these are like interior towels. They're just little plush and soft things. And then in bin 3, it's running a little low, but these are pup towels. They don't apply in this video. That's a pup. That's a car. Pup. Car. Pup. Now, the pressure washer that I use, and all this stuff will be linked below, is a pretty cheap one. It's just a Greenworks. It's like $75 or something. And it does fine. I like how small and light it is. I've bought some more expensive ones, like $200-300 ones. Didn't notice any real perceivable difference when it came to washing a car. Stick with the cheap one that's easy to just kind of mount on my car there and be done with it. The one thing I have done though is I upgraded the hose. Ironically, this costs about half as much as the pressure washer. I think I spent like 45 bucks on this. This is where the real benefit is though. The hose that comes with most pressure washers, they suck, they kink, they do all sorts of weird things. They're just annoying. This is phenomenal. It's a rubber hose and it's held up to a lot of abuse. You will notice that my regular garden hose thing isn't rubber. I have a rubber hose. I suggest you get one unless you have pups or kids that like to drink from the hose, at which point you don't want rubber, which is why I don't use a rubber one. My rubber hose I've used for years. I've had the same one for like 5 years. That one breaks every few years and I have to go buy a new one. on. Go. Go. Go on. Go on. All right, now that we got all the heavy spots washed or rinsed down, just to kind of get the heavy, easy dirt off, I like to do the wheels first, wheels and tires, so that's why I use the third bucket primarily for. We're gonna do them real quick, and then we'll move on to foam in the car. All right, so I have 3 primary tools. I have the big wand here. This thing's like $5 or $6. It's really not expensive. I have a little brush here that I use for like the lug nuts. You can buy these in a set pretty cheap. Please don't walk by the camera. And then this is little speed wheel brush they talk about. I forget the name of it. And this is for getting in the wheelbarrow. This is invaluable, and this you can do without the lug nut. There's other tools you can get and different things, but really this is all you need. If you have really bad wheels with like a lot of brake dust and stuff, honestly, if you just do this regularly, like if you buy like a used Evo or something, the wheels weren't taken care of, got a lot of dirty brake dust and stuff. If you start washing your car regularly, like every week, eventually it'll just go away. Like you'll get it eventually. Now, if you do this on day 1, is it gonna go away? No. But if you just are consistent with it, you will get most of the dirt off that way versus spending a whole lot of time trying to get them perfect on one day. Now, if you want to try to get them perfect on one day, there are ways to do that. We're not going to discuss them here, but you know, obviously more time, more energy, more aggressiveness. You can also do the brake calipers with this as well, and then depending on your wheel wells, you can get inside of them. The Evo in the back here doesn't really have a whole lot of plastic or anything. That's pretty much it. All right, so I don't worry about rinsing that off. Let that sit and soak, and move on to the next wheel. Do all 4, then foam the entire car, and then once I'm rinsing, I can rinse it all at the same time. Now, if you're using like a specific wheel cleaner, you may not want them to sit that long. That's just regular car soap. Generally, I don't use a wheel cleaner. I have one if I need it. I feel like I need it, I use it occasionally, but generally speaking, you don't when you're keeping up with your car. Just to be clear, you don't need a pressure washer, you don't need a foam cannon. But the Evo is a relatively smaller car, and I keep it pretty clean. So honestly, this is a little over half full. That's more than really that I need. And then probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 squirts. 3 or 4 squirts in there is more than enough. In case you're wondering, that's Chemical Guy's Honeydew, but you can use any soap. Supposedly that one foams better in the foam cannon. I've used some of the other ones, and yeah, probably does make a little bit of a difference, but it's not like huge. And then you want to shake it up a little bit, and that's pretty much all you have to do to get this ready. All right, with the wheels done, it's time to move on to everybody's favorite part, and that is actually foaming the car. This is where you see all the Instagram videos and the YouTube videos. Again, I think I said it already, but it's really not necessary. I mean, it's fun, it's cool. I think it has a benefit, sure, but I don't think the car really benefits like a massive amount. I think having a pressure washer is certainly a benefit, and therefore if you already have that ability, you know, why not? But it's not a necessity by any means. Make sure that's not blowing back on the camera. Enzo. So, once it's foamed, you just kind of let it sit to kind of do its thing. That's kind of the whole point. We're still going to 2-bucket wash it. That's why it's not necessarily a required step, but you can see how there could be some benefit to letting that just kind of set in. You know, it's kind of like a pre-soak or something, you know, and it's just kind of, hopefully some of the dirt, some of the loose stuff just kind of running down. I will say, if the car's like really dirty, we'll generally rinse it first. I did kind of forget to do that, but again, my car's not that dirty, so it's not so much that I forgot, it's just I don't usually do it on the Evo because it doesn't really need it. It doesn't need to be pre-rinsed and foam cannoned, it just doesn't need that much. So if I've got some soap left over, I don't really, but take your wash mitt, put it in the bucket, just kind of pour that on top. probably not going to be enough soap, so we'll put just a little bit more. And now we foam this up. So the 2-bucket method, if you don't know, is pretty simple. You wash. Now, normally I would do more than just a few wipes, but you wash, then you come over, you rinse, wring it out real good, re-dip it, and then you start again. Like I said, my car's kept pretty clean, so I can do a good chunk. I usually only have to rinse it a couple times per wash. Now today's overcast, so it doesn't matter. The soap that's in the foam cannon is like a pH neutral, so it can be used in direct sun. It shouldn't hurt the paint or create water spots or anything. The soap in the bucket actually isn't, and you wouldn't want to use that in direct sunlight, but again, it's overcast, so I don't really care. All right, now we can do an actual rinse. And it just stops, helps with the spread of dirt and grime and everything. And then once I'm all done with the car, I like to do the rocker panels. This area down here last all around the car. And that's it, the whole outside's washed. Since the soap isn't gonna create water spots, I like to kind of use this time to straighten up a little bit before I do the final rinse and dry. All right, so now we're gonna rinse the car off. This is gonna look just like foam canning the car, but without the foam. And I just heard the wifey's car, so. I think given the choice to either have only a pressure washer or only the leaf blower, I think I'd probably take the leaf blower, honestly. It saves me more time and helps protect the car more from scratching than the pressure washer does. All right, real quick, because I want to finish drying it before water spots appear. Final step is I use a waterless wash. I use Uber waterless, but I don't use it as a waterless wash. Well, I do sometimes actually, but I use it as a drying aid. So you can spray a little bit on your towel and just kind of spray a little bit on the area. I may have to voice over this, but the benefit is it helps helps the water kind of come off. It also makes it so you don't have to worry about water spots as much. You don't have to dry it 100%. You can kind of let it air dry just a little. If you do the door jambs regularly, they don't get bad. Excuse you. Thank you. Mine's gotten a little messed up here, but basically you fold your towels in a way so that you use one side, then you use the other side, then you can flip it in, and then you can flip it inside out and do the whole thing over again. All right, so I'm gonna hurry up and finish this, and then we'll pick up at the end. Okay, the car is completely dry. I did use a black towel on the wheels, but I still use the waterless to do those. All right, the final step I do is on just a typical quick weekly wash is CarPro Pearl. I mix it 1-to-1. And then you can get these little, all this stuff's linked below, but you can get these little foam blocks. Basically, I do the tires. I like this for a couple of reasons. One, it's not shiny. It doesn't have that slick look that just like it's dripping wet. I hate that look. I don't know why anybody, anyways. So this gives it a real clean look, and it holds up really, really well. I don't know the science behind it, why that is, but it holds up better than like any other tire shine or anything like that. Because this is mixed 1-to-1 with water, it's not a big deal if your tires still have a little bit of wetness on them, although you don't want too much because then you're diluting it more than 1-to-1. Try to get a close-up of that. Right now it's on a tripod, but I just think it's a very clean look, a very nice but not wet look. All right, out of all the things I've used today, I will say that if you're checking prices, the CarPro will be probably more of a sticker shock. It's not crazy, but I think it's like $30 or $40 for the bottle. But you have to keep in mind that even if you just dilute it 1-to-1, obviously you're doubling your capacity. And I just did all 4 tires, and I probably used, I don't know, 8 to 10 squirts, sprays. So I mean, those bottles, even the 16 ounce that I'm using there, they last forever when I fill those up. So if you're just buying it for tires, that one bottle, I mean, I'm still on my first bottle. I know I've had it over a year for sure. You can get a lot of life out of them. It's all done. It's clean. Give you guys kind of a close up of the wheels I was talking about, the tires. You know, they have a dark look to them, but they don't like drip or anything. There's no wet. The big benefit being as well is that it won't sling, because generally if it looks wet, it kind of is. This, I've never experienced any slinging whatsoever. I will put this on and I still give it a little bit of time. Now, if I was gonna drive it like right away, I'd probably take like a towel and just lightly wipe around it and kind of smooth it out a little bit. But as long as you're not driving it right away, even if you're not going to drive it for like 20-30 minutes, you should really be fine. But if you just want to be safe, you could take a light towel and just wipe around it. But yeah, I mean, this isn't a show car or by any means. You know, it's what you would call like a 10-foot car, a driver's car, whatever. But I like to keep it looking nice as possible within reason. So I don't know how long it's taken me because I've been stopping to shoot video and everything. But generally speaking, from the time I start pulling all my stuff out and to the time that I put everything away, I can do this in less than an hour. The actual wash part is like 45 minutes. You know, I spend 10 to 15 minutes just kind of getting everything set up. I had like quick releases and some different things in the past. Just got tired of messing with them, so it takes a few more minutes to set everything up. But okay, so I put the car away, turned the air back on, realized I forgot to shoot an outro, but the car is tucked away back in the garage. All nice and clean, and we're gonna do this one tomorrow. But that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you got some usefulness out of it or some enjoyment of some kind. If you have any questions specifically, you can comment below. As always, you can DM me directly on Instagram. Everything I used today, plus some, is linked below. And yeah, you guys have a good weekend. I'll see you tomorrow.